Here we are, veterinary teams living well, folks, our tribe. This is Rebecca, and I am introducing you to the wonderful, the sweetheart, my effervescent one, Beckie Mossor. So, Beckie, tell us about the Giving Tree.
Oh gosh, the Giving Tree, unbelievably, we're going into our fourth giving year, I think, this year. We started in 2020. So 2020, 21, 22, yeah, I think we're going into our fourth giving year this year. And we are a organization. It sounds very fancy, but we have developed ourselves into a formal organization, nonprofit, that collects nominations as well as donations throughout the year for folks who are in need during the holiday season, the winter holiday season specifically in the veterinary profession. Um, I would just kind of say, like, think back to your angel trees that you see in the banks and in colleges and things like that throughout the winter holiday season. We are that basically. People send us folks who need help, and we find ways to get a little bit of money together to send them as a surprise, just to make their holidays a little bit easier, just a little brighter and a little less stressful.
Oh, cheers to that. There, let's get up our cups here.
Our Christmas mugs we designated this morning. I was so ready. And the timing is so perfect because we kick off our giving season in October.
Well, when I was putting together this 21 days to have a great day at work and I thought of the charity piece, I'm like, boom, we're bringing on Beckie and
So
Crystal
meaningful.
and other folks too that are helping support you.
That's right. So a lot of times, just because of the nature of my schedule versus theirs, Crystal and Lily are not featured as much. And I know I've become like kind of the face, but it's so important to know that Crystal Viguera and Lily Preston, who is actually a former student of mine,
Mhm.
um, are part of this, and we meet and they help make decisions, they help promote, they help. Crystal and I were able to be at AVMA together and have our first big cocktail event hosted by the Bridge Club. So they're a huge part of this. We just don't get to see them as much.
Yeah, yeah. Wonderful. You got to have support, right? So tell me about the two branches of this. All right. So how can people within veterinary teams living well, I guess there's three branches ish, um, nominate, I think, and donate, and then even this sponsorship piece, kind of give us a highlight, a shout out to some of your sponsors, please.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yes. So yeah, there's two major pieces, right? The giving and the getting.
Mhm.
We and any of it can happen through the website. I try to make it really streamlined and easy. So you just head to our website, which is Veterinary Giving Tree, and you can veterinarygivingtree.com, .gov or backslash today. No, veterinarygivingtree.com. Um, so you head over there, there's a nominate button. It's just a Google form. There are three things we ask. There are no like requirements, right? So far in the last three seasons, we've been able to give a little something to everyone who's been nominated. I really hope we're able to continue that trend. We ask if there are kids, job loss, or illness involved. That's not like the qualifier, but it helps us sort of distribute on a tiered level. We have had folks that all three of those things are involved, and we're able to kind of break off a little bit more for those guys.
So,
And
so
then,
tell me those three again.
so kids, job loss, or illness. And obviously that started because we started this in 2020 and there were folks who had lost their jobs because of
Yeah,
COVID. There were folks who had COVID. There were folks who lost their job, had COVID. And then like life is still happening. Like, so
yeah.
during this time, there was folks who, one that always stands out to me is she was fighting cancer. And she was fighting cancer during COVID, which meant that she had to go isolate before her chemotherapy treatments, isolate after her chemotherapy treatments. No one's paying, her insurance is paying, not paying for that hotel room that she's having to buy near the hospital. Um, all the scans, everything that she had to do, she had to quarantine and test and all of this in COVID while trying to combat cancer
Yeah.
and the complications. So, kids, illness, job loss.
Thank you.
Again, you
Yeah.
can say no to all three of those things and still be qualified. It just means it might not be quite as much as somebody who is dealing with those things.
Right.
Um, It can stay completely anonymous, so you don't have to say who you are. Well, I'm going to know who you are because I have to mail you the check. So you just got to give me your name. But if it's an anonymous nomination, you don't want to be known. And if you're nominating somebody else and you don't want them to know it was you, stays completely anonymous. I think that's a really important part of this, especially because folks feel very badly nominating themselves, but also in our profession, it's so hard for us to ask for help. And so a lot of
Mhm.
folks are like, she would kill me if she knew I was asking for help for her. She can do it all. She doesn't need help. And I say
Yeah,
she just because our profession is made up of so many females that that's who we're helping the most, but there's guys
yeah,
too. So that's that really with the nomination piece. I ask you to tell me a little bit about what's going on, and it's not because I need the tea, it's because I want to make sure we are able to help. And if you tell me, like, so with the woman who was battling cancer, we were able to reach out to Marriott hotels and get a couple free nights for her. So if you tell me what's going on, there are some other ways we might be able to chip in and network and find some help outside of just the money. So we were able to send her money that was helpful, but also a couple free nights hotel so that the money we sent her could still go to bringing her joy. In
yeah.
her case, it brought her health. This same individual, I always get goosebumps when I tell someone.
I'm about ready to cry,
The
so I'm
same,
gonna
I
try
know it's
not
terrible.
to.
The same individual sent us a picture of a basket full of groceries, and she said I had $11 in my grocery budget before I got my check. And she had this basket full of like healthy foods. And I'm thinking, like, you're battling cancer. You need fruits and you need vegetables and you need sustenance, you need healthy foods in your life. Um, so yeah, these money, this isn't going to buying anybody a new pair of Louis Vuittons or anything like that. They're putting food in their grocery baskets, they're putting presents under the tree for the hardest thing I hear is, and it's generally when it's somebody's nominating somebody else, will say I've heard her say she doesn't know how she's going to make Christmas happen this year. And I think that's the part that really hits me because I was an angel tree kid. My mom was a single mom. She worked two jobs. She went to school, and she had to buy us socks and underwear. There was no room
Yeah,
for Barbies and fun stuff. And when she hung our names on those angel trees, it got a couple fun toys or some designer
right.
clothes under the tree for us. Not that those things should be important, but you know what? When you're 8 and you're 10 and you're in school and life is hard, they are important.
They are important.
Um, and the idea that anybody is just like, I don't know how I'm going to make Christmas. And meanwhile, like, it's not even just that. It's like while you're showing up to work and you're giving your whole self all day, every day to take care of other people and other things. And, you know, it's not like in our profession, we're not giving constantly. I mean, so not that, I don't think there are a lot of jobs out there that are very selfish, but I just mean like there are jobs out there where I don't think you're pouring from your cup all day, and ours is not that. And
All
so
day. Yeah, yeah.
all day.
So can
So when you're
so
just
can
thinking to yourself, like, my cup at work is empty, my cup at home is empty, like we're just here to fill it a little if we
fill
can.
a cup a little bit. So for veterinary teams living well, the comment here was to create a charity by the team, like vote for a charity and then choose one. Of course, there's a lot to choose from. I was thinking 4-H and all that too, but right, the Giving Tree, put it high on your list. And then the team would gather the funds, however they wanted to, and then they would donate even as a team to the Giving Tree, and then you could choose where it goes.
I love that. Thank you.
Possibly.
My littlest dog also loves that. And I'm sure you can hear her cheering you on in the background. She thinks that's great. No, we love that. And that is, so we have had some hospitals reach out that kind of want to like adopt a family. And what we've avoided is that, because I don't have time to collect presents and ship them and split them, and I can't give you people's names and addresses and connections and things like that. So we have kept it always monetary.
Yeah.
And then if there are perks, like again, connection to the Marriott hotels, or
Right.
hey, you need a new set of tires. Can we find some tire shop near you that would be willing to donate? And that's somewhere that's kind of Crystal's strength. She's been really great about that reach out. Um, so yeah, so if your hospital is looking to donate and collect those funds together, that's amazing. We just do ask that they be monetary collected,
Yeah.
monetary funds. If you want to adopt a family, we could designate a family that all those funds went to. However, we find the system that we use works really well, and we
Sure.
still can appreciate and feature a group coming together and saying, let's collect it all together.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, this
and
is such
give
a
what we can.
unique a unique funnel in that here's an opportunity for a team choosing to go to other veterinary team members' homes through veterinary team driven Giving Tree.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
hits on all those
Yeah.
cylinders.
Well, and that was honestly what in the beginning when people were donating, so many people said, thank you. Like, thank you for giving me a place to give back within my profession. And
Right.
that had never really occurred to me that that was a need or that people were looking for that. And they were so grateful. You know, I give money every year and I'm so excited to have a place to give where it gives back. And we have so many animal charities and ways to help our patients, which is
Right.
amazing. But like, if we're not there to help our patients aren't going to get help. And
Exactly. So
yeah, so there,
you and I know, I mean, we've been doing team things for a long time. So this just fills my cup, even supporting you and your team this way.
that's right. Because I think when you're out there and you meet a lot of technicians, you hear a lot of stories. And when you ask for the stories, Rebecca, you get them. And
Oh, yeah.
they're so heavy. They're so heavy. It's my favorite time of year because I get to help, but like, man, when I read what they're going through, it's just so humbling. It
Yeah.
reminds me how lucky I am. It reminds me how brave and strong we are as humans, but let alone veterinary professionals. Probably brave and strong to a fault, right?
Mhm.
And then how
Yeah.
generous we are, because I
Yeah.
have had folks who have showed up every year as donors. Charlotte, Wack, you, Jennifer Serling, Josh Weisman. I don't want to leave anybody off. But I try to think back through. I recently did a project for my master's degree that involved this, and I pulled it up and I could see these names of people who showed up every year. Liz Houston, oh God, I cannot forget her. She has been a huge supporter of the tree as
Huge
well.
supporter. Yeah.
Yeah. She's even it kind of in the end been like, where are we at? Where do we need our goal? Like, she's always been willing to help and show up and spread the word. There have just been so many folks who have been there since the beginning, who the first year, who intentionally donate every year, who support every year. And that, like, I don't even totally realize, you know, until I'm talking to them, and then they're pouring their heart out to me about the tree. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I mean, I get lost in it, but
Right.
I live it, so I forget that other people still have it on their mind that's meaningful enough to them, and it means so much to me that other people believe in this.
Cheers to that one, sister.
Yeah, I mean, just keep the cheers coming. So that's the nomination piece. The donation piece is also happens through the website. We have this really cool platform called Zeffy. It is 100% free for us as a nonprofit, which means we don't pay those credit card fees that we would otherwise be paying through like PayPal or Stripe or other credit card processors. So when you go to Zeffy, it does ask if you want to cover the fees. You have the option to opt out of those, but either way, they don't get passed on to us. And I think that's a huge deal. I know we've been able to save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars
Right.
because of that. Zeffy also allows for a membership option, a monthly donation option. So if you're like, man, I wish I could give you a huge chunk of change this year, I just don't have it, but you can give $5 or $10 a month. That adds up throughout the year. I'm a total like membership person because like I can pay for things in small chunks that I can't pay for in big chunks. So I'm all about insurance and little savings. And so that is an option through Zeffy, and it's automatic. You just set it up and it just pulls that withdrawal out. And that adds up so quickly for us, and it's so important. Amazon Smile went away this year, and that was kind of a big blow to us because we got really good support
Right.
through that adds up quickly. A lot of it is probably me because I be shopping. You know, I'm an
I can
Amazon
see you.
shopper. Yeah. And I'm like, well, it's giving back. But it really, truly, it was a lot. The other thing is the network for good. I actually have one right here. I mean, I get this, I opened the mail the other day, $325. Most of the time, these are coming from Facebook fundraisers. Charlotte's another, I give her a shout out here because she regularly does her birthday fundraiser for us. And then these types of checks just show up for us. And
Well,
that's amazing for us.
so Becky, when we post this in Veterinary Teams Living Well, tag all these folks.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll tag him, and I'll also send you the links to, Zeffy. I'll send you the links to the website. All of those things. We'll try to make it really easy for you guys to get in here. But the donation piece, again, we're 501. It's tax deductible. We try to make it really easy. If you don't want to give through Zeffy, you can mail me a check if that's still how you work. It'll take me a long time to cash it. As you can see, I have one sitting right next to me. I can do it by my phone, and I'm still a procrastinator, but I will get there. You will then in turn get from me a plantable tree.
Cool.
I mean, that's a little fancy.
I have one of those somewhere.
Card. Yeah. Oh, you have the upgraded version. You have the conference version. This is our Christmas version. The conference version was fancy. And so speaking of the conference, we were able to have an amazing fundraiser. It was Cocktails for a Cause, hosted by the Bridge Club and Catherine Haskins. Catherine Haskins has been an amazing supporter of the tree since day one. We actually won her first year Bright Minds Award. And
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. That was amazing. And that was such a fun thing to have featuring the tree. And that was after our very first year. That was the first year back at WVC when it was in June, and it was right after 2020, and we had just had our first giving season. So it like support from the beginning from them. So she along with Chewy Animal Health and Vetcetera sponsored a $5,000 fundraise match for us at AVMA. And they have committed to another event at WVC. And so we will be hosting another reception. This one is going to have a different name, but it's going to be cute. And we're going to be hosting again another fundraising event at WVC, which is a huge deal. WVC has vowed to be involved, has said that they're helping out with some of the space. We're still working on sponsors. We've got a couple new sponsors this year on top of Vetcetera and Chewy being back in on this because they believe so strongly in it. And again, when you have that kind of support of people who believe in you, and then you can really start to like visualize what you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't have the numbers, like but like 99% goes back. The only money that we have spent that didn't we showed up to AVMA this past year for this event. We don't get paid. There's no like administrative costs. Like we really try to keep it, pretty much all of this money goes right back to
grassroots, very grassroots. Yeah,
it really is.
So
it's so grassroots. Like if you could see me in my leggings and tank top writing checks when they go, hey, it's grassroots over here, girl. Nothing fancy, but we get the work done.
So we've got some sponsors. We've talked about how to give, how to donate. Hold on a second. I had another thought. Western Veterinary Conference. So let's, at Western Veterinary Conference, like plan ahead and plant the seed within Veterinary Teams Living Well for those members to participate and show up with our little buttons and all the things that we have, so that we can be supportive of the Giving Tree at Western Veterinary Conference.
Absolutely. So we're still working on how that is we're trying to, what I think we're going to end up doing is having a big open invitation. So you'll get the opportunity to RSVP through Western. I think we're going to open it up that big. Okay. It has been invite only previously. So I'm not 100% sure on how that's going to look, but if we go open invite, your teams will get the invite link. Probably we'll do a little ahead of time just so that they get like, we have certain folks who can get access ahead. And we'll make sure that they can do that. We're still hashing it all out because, it's really hard to hold these big events and not be out of pocket, and to make sure what is going back to the tree goes back to the tree. So there's always room for sponsors. If you've got big folks out there listening who your organization wants to be involved in the cocktail reception and sponsor, we would love to have you reach out. We'd love to get you in and get your name on supporting this and supporting it early, and being a part of something so big. Because, just like this, Rebecca, we talked about it as we came on. It's like, we have got to have the nominations. We've got to have the word of mouth. I can have all the money in the world, but if I don't know who to give it to, then I can't complete my goal. And we have such a hard time nominating ourselves. We even sort of have a hard time nominating each other sometimes. And I just really encourage folks to say, like, I don't care if it's, I promise you, I've given money to folks who said, I just need to breathe. I just want 1 month where I don't have to pick between my car insurance, my power, and getting to work and eating. Like, I just want 1 month to breathe. And so, you don't have to be going through some kind of horrific life circumstance. We want to help if it's just going to help your holidays and you're in need.
Aw, beautiful. That's wonderful. So, Beckie, some of these folks may be thinking, well, Rebecca knows Beckie, but I don't know Beckie. So can you tell us a little bit about you, my effervescent one?
Oh gosh. Well, I guess I'm Beckie. I don't, it's funny. I hate talking about myself, and I hear other people talk about me, and I'm like, oh, I guess I did do that. I'm just a vet tech, I'm just a vet tech who loves.
Rewind.
You're right. I don't mean like just a vet tech as in I'm not a veterinarian. Let me be clear. I'm just a vet tech as in I'm nobody special in this world of people that I find myself hanging out in. I guess that's what I should say when I say I'm just a vet tech. And I say I'm just a vet tech, meaning I'm just a vet tech who started a nonprofit. You don't have to be, like, you can be just you and do incredible things, I guess is what I'm trying to say when I say
I
I'm just
love
a vet
that.
tech.
You can be just you and do incredible things. We need to quote that one, honey.
Okay, TM,
love
TM,
it.
right? But I guess that's what I mean when I say I'm just a vet tech. Like, I just had an idea and I found people to support me and I moved it forward, and I've done it in a lot of different ways. And that's culminated somewhat in my career. I am currently the practice management coordinator at Appalachian State University. And that is such a fun position to be in. I work with some of the most amazing folks on our leadership team, in our leadership in general: Virginia Corrigan, Jen Serling, Rebecca Newman, our wellness coordinator. We have got an amazing group over there. And I'm a practice management coach with Veterinary Mastery. So I work with teams that need culture changes, who need well-being in their workplace, who need systems that will help improve the processes for everybody else. And that's such a fun thing that I get to do. I have the opportunity to be a tech champion lecturer with Behringer Ingelheim. And so a lot of you guys might know me just from coming around to your local areas and doing lectures with Behringer. And then I also am the co-host of Veterinary Viewfinder. We're going on 7 years of podcasting. Dr.
7 years. Holy cow. Wow.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. It's crazy.
I think we're at like 400 and some odd podcasts. We do weekly podcasts. We say tackling the tough topics in veterinary medicine, and I think we do just that. And so a lot of folks who don't know my face are like, gosh, your voice is really familiar. You double check your podcasts, you might know me from there. But and I'm currently president-elect for the National Association of Veterinary.
I was gonna make sure you talked about that one.
And that's kind of a big one, right? I work right now with Ashley Selke and Jamie Rauscher, who's our current president, and Ashley, our immediate past. 1 more year president-elect, and then I will be heading up our national association. And so again, when I say just a vet tech, like, I mean that. Even when I rattle off all the things I do and I've done, I am quote unquote just a vet tech, meaning you don't have to be anything, like, you just, whatever it is you want to do, just start taking those steps, because there's so much to do out there, and there's people to support you along the way. And we are two of that. Like, if there's anything I can do to support you, I don't have to know you. Please reach out to me and tell me what you need. How can I help you? Because we have an amazing profession full of people who are doing amazing things. Rebecca, you've been an entrepreneur for years. And you put together things like this, like Veterinary Teams Living Well, and it's simply because you care. It's simply because in your heart you want to see an outcome, not because of anything else, but truly driven by your own passion. And so we're all just what we are, doing incredible things.
Yep. Oh, I love that. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, with that, we will begin to wrap up. And yes, below here, and I'm going to place this on my personal Facebook page. I'm going to put it on my LinkedIn. I'm going to plaster it in other places as well. Yep, boop, 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 boop. Repurpose this puppy. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that other people share this as well as, and the links that we're going to provide.
Please do. And the other thing is, share it, because you don't know who's living a struggle that they have not said one word to you about, that you don't know about. Don't hesitate to nominate yourself. Don't be too proud. And I mean that in the most loving way. We're here for you. It can be anonymous. It goes nowhere past, but literally my computer, we even can, like, we redact out names when I put them forward to our board to kind of go through and look and rubric things out in terms of who's being affected by what. So don't hesitate. Just reach out. Let's see what we can do to help you.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for Veterinary Teams Living Well. We love you. And thank you, Giving Tree. May it be.
Rebecca, thanks for having us.
Yes. All right. Bye. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to push the button.